Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of The Forge.
Hello, welcome back.
Today we are joined by Comfy and Adoumti from the varsity Esports or Valorant Esports team.
yeah.
Words. If you guys just want to go through and introduce yourselves real quick, we would appreciate it.
I'll start us off. I'm Adoumti. My full name is Adam Nasser. I'm a freshman, and I play for a varsity team. Met my teammate here. The beginning of semester, he's a really cool dude. I feel like our team is really good in terms of like our mechanical skill and just how we play the game. And yeah, like I'm hoping for a good semester, and I think our team will go far.
I'm Comfy. I'm Chris McNeely. I kind of play every role for the team. Just kind of get in there. You know how it is. Like Adam was saying, we're a good team. We're all a bunch of cool dudes. Kind of just chill, vibe, and whatever happens, happens. We just get in there.
And just for a quick reintroduction on our ends, I'm Tyler, a.k.a. Dark.
I'm Trae or Linkling.
All right. So just start off today. How's the season been going, guys? You know, because you guys have played in what, 2 tournaments ish already.
So we're kind of playing in a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So what? There's MEC, which Team White plays in, but we've played in a couple matches and the tournament.
Yeah,
We played in that.
that weekend.
Yeah, that weekend.
That weekend was crazy.
Didn't you guys play like 7 games?
Luca
Yeah.
was
Oh my God.
in King for 8 hours. straight.
Yeah, because
Jesus
I
Christ.
remember being told how like Jen went out and like got him like food or something
Yeah.
because he was in there for so long.
Well, was he just like practicing lineups or was that for the game, like actual games?
Okay, so he was just going insane. I was like, go practice some lineups. Like, as a joke, he goes into the range and finds a fade lineup that we use in our ESC
The Lotus
game.
is saying the
Yeah.
Lotus
Was it that
lineup.
lineup?
Yes, it was
Yes,
that
it was
lineup
that
on
lineup.
Seaside.
Oh my God.
Yes. He was like, yeah, I found that when you told me to go lineups. I was like, bro, I was joking. He's like, no. I found a lineup. I was like, you're insane.
I gotta find a clip of that lineup so we can show it, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know what we are referring to, go watch the Valorant streams, by the way. However, Luca found this lineup for C that hits in the top right of the
above bend.
above bend.
It's
in
crazy.
The back corner against like some vines in the top, and literally as we were watching it, the KJ just kind of like looked up trying to figure out where this fade eye was, and it was just staring at them from above. And all of us in the casting room were like, what is this? What are we watching right now?
I didn't even know what I was watching. I was dead out. I was screaming at him during the match. I was like, what is this eye?
And this was last Tuesday, like this.
No, this
week?
is the one
It was
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Oh,
You-
okay.
You played in that one.
Yeah.
So you guys have played in the weekend.
Yeah. The MEC the thing that the Team White couldn't play the second day, so we stepped in. Then we've been playing ESC, which is the conference,
league.
like
Yeah.
the league of, it's the MAC essentially. So there's that, and then we have CEA today, and then
which I get to cast.
Let's go.
and then CVal within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I have to somehow spectate this game. I've never touched the spectator mode other than like randomly watching
It'll be
stuff.
Just watch
Fine.
me, it's all good. Just watch
Only
me.
the comfy cam.
Yeah, just the comfy cam.
Because like I was watching James do it, and he was like shift 4, and it had this weird angle. I'm like, how do I do that? How?
So you don't need to go into the observer cam. James just likes to do it to like see other angles, but you can realistically just like pay attention to the map, and then and you kind of just spectate who's about to get into a gunfight.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure James will talk to me, but I don't know. It'll be interesting.
And spectating is hard. Like even when I was casting, like looking at the mini map, it's really hard to like catch what's going on. Like because you're spectating one perspective doesn't mean like there's not something happening across the map.
Yeah.
Which I also heard that you guys had done something with like Red Bull College Clash or something like
Red
that.
Bull Campus Clutch. We also
Campus
played in
Clutch.
that.
Oh,
that
yeah,
didn't
that's
go
right.
great. That
Yeah. But I had also heard that you guys have faced against some really good teams at this point and either won or brought it really close in those losses.
We played, I think, in the weekend.
We played
a 3 Radiant team and we beat them.
we beat I can't remember the team name, but there was a full Radiant team who's in the top upper echelon of like college Valorant. Then we've played Clark, who's also pretty good. We've played Indiana, who's ranked like 20 right now.
Wow. Which was that game close/win or
We lost, but the game was winnable. They were kind of just dry swinging, and I was just like, whatever. I'm not expecting it every time I peek, just a breach dry swings, no util. I'm like, whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah, you have stun, flash, aftershock, something. No, dry swing. It's all good. It just happens.
It just happens sometimes. I mean, so real quick, I know that Comfy, you kind of said that you play everything, but you prefer playing Duelist, correct? Or is that just kind of what you've been forced onto at this point?
Okay, so this is a long story, essentially. So last semester, we had a problem of over pushing a lot. Any Duelist we played, Cody now, who's become way more disciplined, but last year, especially last semester, because that's when I was on the team, he was playing Duelist for the beginning, started to over push way too much. Bryson, who was the captain at the time, switched him to someone else. He started over pushing, not performing, switched it to someone else, switched it back to Cody. Same issues were happening. Then we put me on Duelist, and then it happened less, but it's whatever. So then I kind of just stuck to it because it got to the point we played the 15th ranked team in the nation. I dropped 40 against them.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Just like 3 tier 2 players on their team who are like contracted by people to play. You know.
And Adoumti, I know I haven't gotten to see much of your games so far. I've seen most of them, but there's only been like 2 or 3 that I have had the opportunity to watch. And I've seen that you play a decent amount of Sentinel, correct?
Yeah,
Is that kind of what you're leaning towards right now?
Well, for the team, yes. I play Sentinel most of the time. I mean, right now I'm currently inactive as like a sub because I'm just taking a step back to just get more integrated with college and other clubs and community and just schoolwork.
Yeah.
And but yeah, for the team, I'm mainly Sentinel, which is really a hard adjustment for me, by the way. As like all my time playing Valorant, I was a Duelist player. I play ranked, I insta-lock Reyna right away, turn off comms, whatever, everything, just typical Reyna main or Jet main, just no Duelist, no game sense, all aim. And like, I don't know, the more I played over the summer, I just realized like something had to change. If I want to be on like a team environment, it's just not going to work out. And I just realized like if I start integrating like game sense and decision making and just no hesitation and intuition, and that's like a very heavily like reliant on the Sentinel play style, and I just realized like maybe I could try Sentinel. And like during the tryouts, I started using majority of the game sense in my gameplay as a Sentinel role, and it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the tryouts, we are watching him. One of his Duelist games, he didn't listen to Ethan very well, so we were like, "You're going in Sentinel jail because you're just mechanically gifted." And it worked out. We're like, this was a great idea. And then it just kind of stuck, and he's an insane Sentinel. And
Yeah. I still remember the very first game of this ECE, right?
ESC?
ESC
Against
season
Eastern Michigan?
against Eastern Michigan, where we saw Adoumti playing Chamber, and then
On Bind?
Bind,
Yeah.
where Adoumti was going off, and we were like, damn, this is really good. And then afterwards, you guys came up to the room, and we were like, yeah, Adoumti told us after he locked Chamber that he doesn't use op, and we were all like, what do you mean? He went insane. Like, it just didn't add up.
Well,
Just because of how just genuinely mechanically gifted you just are naturally, I guess. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, I honestly I never used op. Like in ranked, I probably have 10 op kills over the course of one act. Like I never op. I came from a Rainbow Six Siege background. I played tier 2. That was my game.
Guy.
For our new listeners, which is all of you, they just fist bumped across the table.
I was a Rainbow Six Siege player. I played tier 2, and in that game, there's no like sniper. Like the only 2 agents or operators are called in that game are Glaz and Cali, and they're not really good. Like in high tier play.
Love you some Glaz in that game.
I would agree with Glaz. I kind of disagree with Callie because sometimes her like breach can be a little bit better than Thatcher.
Yeah,
but like in general, I would agree with you
in
on
general,
that statement.
depending on what map too is like a big thing.
Like
but,
if you're playing like Nighthaven, if you ever bring Callie, you're throwing.
But yeah, I played Siege a lot, and I guess the game sense kind of transferred over to Valorant because it's the same like play style of team environment, not over peaking, communication, just like strategizing. And yeah, like that really helped me out with like a lot of like getting integrated. Because I only started playing Valorant, I want to say like a year ago. Like, because I'm pretty new to
Why are you
Valorant.
looking at me? I don't know. You're looking at me like I know when you started.
I'm trying to think. Like, it was around the time, I'd say it was around the time when Harbor came out. So that was either Pearl or Lotus when the
So
map was
Lotus.
added.
Yeah, so give or take a
Yeah.
year ago.
Yeah. So
Oh,
around
'Cause
that
Harbor
time.
was right before Lotus came
Mhm.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like before that, I did play at Valorant, obviously, but like it was just like a game you'd
Mhm.
play like once a month. I was like gold. Like I had
Yeah.
maybe 5 hours on the game. Played beta. I was watching those streams during beta, trying to get the key and stuff. I played it like once in a while, but like after I was kind of done with Siege, I kind of just wanted to try out like CS and Valorant was kind of more towards my like play style because it's more
Mhm.
abilities like
Yeah.
Siege. And I tried out Valorant. I really liked it. I hit Diamond my first
Act, yeah.
not
Damn.
episode. And then
I am just.
I just got addicted for like I want to say like 2 episodes or 1 episode or whatever, and then I just started
Yeah.
playing a lot.
Sorry about that. My first act, in the beta I was iron, then I was gold in my first act. So
You see, I have not left bronze yet, so bronze has been my peak, and I will continue
just
to be
lock
bronze.
arena,
Well,
throw
you know
a
what?
flash, and
I'm
swing.
not good
Something-
enough for that, man. I am. Valorant is my first M&K game. It has been such an adjustment, and
Not even Minecraft.
nah. I didn't have a computer until literally this summer that could handle like games.
Yeah,
So I've been stuck on console, and I was playing like 60 on console, and I was
play console Siege.
yeah,
I
on
played console
Xbox.
Siege a lot
I
too.
hit plat a few times
Oh.
on console. I was decent-ish. And then I was like, I really want to play Valorant and CS. When I finally got my computer, I booted up Val, and I couldn't aim worth a damn, and I still can't aim, but it's a little bit better now.
But what's interesting about that is that there's a lot of low ranked players that have like the game sense of like Immortals.
Yes.
Like, which is crazy to me. It's
Thing
like
is, I have like decent-ish game sense to where I could like watch a match and tell what's happening and say the strats, but I just don't have the aim to
Like,
back up any of it.
I don't know the name, but there's a caster for VCT that's like silver, and he has like these super in depth like
Sideshow maybe? Or
I don't know if
Love
it's
Brandon
Sideshow.
Sideshow's so good, man.
Yeah, talking about Sideshow, you see the video where he's like ripping on
Like
tens? Yeah, that was.
No, I didn't see that.
I was-
He went in on tens.
Well, I was
For what?
watching it.
saying that like he's kind of like not at the level of like VCT pro play. Like he's a
That's
bit.
not true.
Well, no. What he was saying is he's not at the level of a VCT duelist player.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
better on KO than he is
Yeah.
any of his duelists, and
agree.
he was just pointing out that fact and like, why are you playing duelist when you have a KO, and just change to an initiator basically, or get coaching to make your duelist better to where you can actually play in that role. Because he has no issues with his like mechanics, because Tens is just mechanically
mechanically gifted.
gifted.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
the best
Like-
ever mechanical player, I'd say. In, like,
Demon
Valorant.
1,
Nah.
Well, that's too recent. Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
For how long Tens was good and still is, I'd definitely put him up there. But Demon
Yeah.
1 long term is probably gonna be
Demon 1
yeah.
is coming out and just showing how insane he is.
But we're just talking about straight mechanics. Demon 1 is better.
Mhm.
Tens has been playing.
Well-
Tens has been playing quote unquote professionally since he's 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's like a whole different game though. Like CS, like for Valorant,
It's very similar mechanics.
It is very similar.
That's why it's like I think Demon 1 is a. Tens is still a great player.
Yeah.
No flame to Tens or anything. He's obviously better than I am. Guy gets paid. Guy gets paid to play.
yeah,
But
yeah, 100%. But the thing with like Tens is like he hits shots that you'll never ever think of hitting.
oh, the
or-
Yoru clip. Where on
The Yoru
the
clip.
360 on Haven.
Oh
everyone
yeah,
talks
I know
about.
exactly what you're
or the
talking
op
about.
flick on Haven as well, like
Yeah.
C long, like he's like jumping on the box and like he was aiming garage and he just flicks
Flicks, yeah.
C long. Like Demon 1, like he's more of like that consistent low sense, like just one tap if they're all
Yeah.
next to each other. But Tens is like super like ADHD high
Yeah.
sense flicking like
Yeah.
It's just like
TikTok aim. Yeah.
just like in general, just seeing how VCT though has been like rolling recently. It's been very strange.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like
What, the roster mania right now?
I want to get to the roster mania in a second. I just want to talk about champions right now. What the hell was that tournament?
I loved it. I think it was so good.
It was really good. The thing is, I'm a Paper X fan.
Aw.
Paper X is my team. and seeing
Love Jing.
I love Jing so much.
Oh,
and
dude,
I
Jing,
just-
yeah.
I remember you didn't watch it live, so I remember like I knew who won, but I remember you watching the VOD next to me in the room, and you were just like, "No, they're throwing," and I'm like, I feel so bad for you. But
I didn't watch it. I watched it like a week or so after it happened.
The
and
final?
Yes, the final. And literally, as I'm like sitting there watching, I'm like trying to do homework at the same time. I wasn't because the game was so good.
Yeah.
But literally, he was like sitting there, and all of a sudden, he would just hear me start banging on my desk, pissed at whatever the hell we were doing. Like we were just dry swinging stuff for no reason, and it just hurt my soul.
Yeah.
But like Fnatic going out in fourth to Loud, which don't get
I
me
mean,
wrong,
no-
no disrespect to Loud. Loud's a good team, but that was like that was uncharacteristic to
I
me
think
almost.
that-
I would disagree.
Yeah,
Really?
I think that it was definitely like a 60-40 game rather than like everyone thinking.
Everyone thought it.
I think Loud pretty much had like a equal chance of winning that game just as much as Fnatic.
I think it's from a standpoint of this is gonna sound weird, but it's like understanding the players on each team. Don't get me wrong, Fnatic has debatably 5 of the top 10 best players in the world on their team, but on any given day, Loud can be just there, if not better, and Loud was, and Fnatic wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how Valorant works. It's
Yeah.
The way
who shows up, who doesn't.
Yeah, the way I see it is like from a consistent standpoint, Fnatic are better, but that ceiling that Loud has is so high compared to any other team. Like when they get it going, they really get it going.
Yeah, once Ospas is on a roll,
Yeah.
you're not stopping him.
Yeah.
You're not stopping Les, you're not stopping Sodhawk, you're not stopping Aspas when they're all on their day.
Yeah.
I'm not like like they're a very good team.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that. It was just kind of sudden for me to see like a core that's as consistently good as Fnatic is in terms of just breaking down your strats and just kind of countering everything you do to just kind of get not rolled, but just kind of see what they were kind of all planning to do, just kind of getting shutting down pretty consistently by Loud. Just was kind of surprising just see how those strats just kind of got countered, and you could just tell that Loud did their homework.
Yeah.
I feel like, it wasn't just mechanics and getting on a roll. You could just tell that they looked at Fnatic's games and said, this is how we beat them.
It
I
seems
feel
like
like-
they didn't change much, like you're saying. Fnatic
Yeah.
didn't change that
Fnatic
much
didn't
of what,
adapt, which...
of what they had.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to be like the reigning champs and still have that mindset of we need to change, we need to get better, right? Because once you're like the best team in the world,
Yeah.
you have this mindset of like we don't really need to change like what we
Yeah.
got going. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like obviously that's not the case in Valorant because teams adapt to you, and you have to adapt to those teams that adapted to you.
Yeah.
Like always.
And the thing is, obviously, with a team like Fnatic, everyone's studying your VODs all the time, because it's like, you're the pinnacle. We need to figure out what you do and then figure out either A, how to beat it and be better than what you do, or B, replicate it in a way that you can't even replicate us, kind of. So, I mean, I thought that overall Champions was a great tournament as a whole. I think there was a lot of teams that people didn't expect to go as
Billy
far
Billy.
as... Yes.
Billy
Billy
Billy.
Oh my
G
God.
showing out of left field.
EDG too.
To be fair, once I saw Artis playing, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Artis.
He's really lost his form. He used to be so good on FPX too.
That's why he's going back. That's why they're all on Navi now.
Yeah.
they're all. It's
Yeah.
FPX back to
Which
Navi.
Navi, I don't even want to talk about
Sugetsu.
Navi right now, because I was watching that Ascension match between the grand finals. I think it was Navi and I don't
Ascension.
not Ascension for
The-
qualifying
LCQ?
LCQ,
Yeah.
yeah. Where it was, I don't remember who it was that they were against in that last match, and Navi just didn't.
Foot FUT.
Oh, it was Foot.
I think it was Foot.
Navi just didn't look good. Like, they won the finals, and like all to them, I couldn't do anything that they do. They
I
just
think actually it was Team Liquid, not Foot.
no, it wouldn't have. Liquid had already
but-
qualified.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
think.
That's
But
right.
wasn't Foot also in champs? So it had to have been a different team.
Yeah.
Foot.
Foot was
Wasn't
in
champs.
champs. So
Well,
it was a different.
Is
Oh
it,
no, because EMA got 4.
EMA got
So
4.
I think it was the top.
It was
two.
top 2.
So I think you are right. I think
it was Navi
Foot.
and Foot. I'm pretty sure.
I think you are right.
And
And Foot, like, I mean,
Foot.
They
Foot,
were surprising.
They
Yeah,
were-
Foot.
yeah.
Foot shocked me. They looked really good overall. I think that they had some mistakes that they could definitely rectify in terms of like just team play. But outside of that, I thought they looked really strong. Navi just looked awful in that last chance qualifier, and I'm not sure how they won that, to be honest, because they just kept over pushing.
That's the
I
Angel.
feel
That's how
like
Angel,
Angel
plays.
Duelist.
Yeah.
Angel on any role. Did you know statistically with Navi, they win more rounds when Angel's dead than they do when he's alive.
Really?
Really?
Just goes in there, knife out, and then starts IGLing.
That's how he works. That's why like when you see him do dumb things like the fracture omen TP from last year when he was when he was on FPX against I don't even remember what team he was against, but he TPs to close space, a guy swings him, kills 2 of them, and then they lose the round because Angel is just playing smokes and dying for free.
It's just like, I don't know. There's a lot of teams right now that I feel like could be great. They just don't seem to like mesh right, or just something like isn't there that kind of like makes them into the team. If that,
Yeah.
like I feel like teams like EG, Paper X before Jing left, which we're gonna see how that rolls next season.
Money will be good. I have faith.
Yeah, so do I. But like, obviously we don't know until it happens. Fnatic, teams like that where you can just kind of tell that they got their shit down and that they have figured out what makes the team the team.
Yeah.
You
They know
know?
their identity.
Exactly.
And I think we're in this stage of VCT where like there's like these lot of like promising teams that haven't like fully figured out what they're trying to do. Like EDG, for example.
I was actually about to mention that.
EDG,
That was like
Billy even are a really good team. Like the way they played against NRG, it wasn't a fluke. Like they
beat him twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beat
It's
him
not just
badly.
once. They beat
Yeah.
him twice.
And I think that like the way VCT is right now, it's like looking very promising just for like for the viewership and pro scene, and it might grow to the level of CS just because of how good teams are. And there's no like for example in CS, right? There's always like a different team that wins the major, unless we're talking about like the Astralis dynasty.
Yeah.
which, as somebody who watched too much CS during that time, I was a FaZe. I was a FaZe
You're a
fan
FaZe
during
guy?
that time.
Like the old phase, like
Old phase,
Rain,
Guardian, Kerrigan, Nico, and I think
Olaf
it
Meister.
was Olaf/Exist, because Exist was also subbing in and out.
The
for
French
a bit.
guy for Titan.
No,
The EX6.
Exist, XIST
NIP.
from NIP.
Yeah.
When that was like the roster that was like
Mm-hmm.
my team for a while, and seeing them constantly go against Astralis and just get decimated hurt my soul every time. And I was
What do you think
watching.
about that Boston major?
You bet. I was no, stop. That genuinely hurts my soul because I see that clip so often, and every time I see it, I want to like throw my phone against a wall.
Me, I've always been a Navi fan. Like growing up, I used to watch this player. His name was Edward.
I love Edward.
And,
Edward plays so smart.
Like my first introduction to FPS was like old Counter Strike, like when it first came out, when like the best
Source?
teams. No, not Source. Like the end of Source, but beginning of CS:GO. Like
so
NIP, Fnatic, and I forgot Very Games, which is a French team.
mine was actually about the same.
Yeah, and that's when like I just watched. I didn't really play because I was too young. Like my mom would not let me play a shooter at like 8 years old, 10 years old.
Fair enough.
And yeah, those teams like I really like loved watching that. And there's this player named Edward, and he was on Navi and Source, and he was like the top 3 player. He's like the simple of Source.
Yeah, and I would still consider him to be one of the greatest CS:GO players of all time. For me, I was an NIP fan at the start, and Get Right was my man.
I was a Shox. That was my favorite player.
Shox.
That
Shox was
it.
good
Very
too.
Games, Envy.
Which didn't Very Games turn into Envy or Titan or
it
one of them?
it was not. It was Very Games, and then that team split up in between 2 teams, Team LDLC and Envy.
It was LDLC and Envy. Okay.
And then then it went from there. And then it was like this whole French like roster mix up. It went from like G2, Envy, Very Games,
then
Titan.
we saw Kenny 2 or
Yep.
Kenny S just become him.
That
Yeah.
dude's a freak.
Yeah,
So
like
good.
Top 3 opera all time.
Even in Valorant, when they had the international thing like a year or 2 ago, he got on the op, and I was just like, dude, this guy's so good in this game. What the hell?
and he was just peaking so aggressive with an op in Val, which you just don't see normally, and it was just like refreshing almost
Yeah.
to see like that CS:GO style kind of carry over. I mean, then like the Brazilian scene
Bro.
has been insane
For both games, CS and
Yeah.
Valorant, yeah.
They
like
love their esports.
Scream, Fallen, just Fallen. I would say top 3 operas of all time as well, up there with, in my opinion. You
yeah,
don't
in
have to
your
agree
opinion,
with
yeah.
that, but
I got Guardian number 1.
I have
without a
Guardian
doubt,
number
yeah.
1 as 2. I have it like Guardian, Kenny S, then Fallen, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of people would argue Zywoo in there, but
Dupree.
Device didn't really play op all that
He was
much.
secondary
He was
operator,
secondary
yeah.
op, yeah.
But he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, like CS, and then now CS:GO just being dead like hurts my soul. You know, CS2 came out of literally left field where
Yeah, they dropped it at like 4:40 on a Wednesday afternoon, which is kind of funny to me.
during the middle of a pro match too.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was Vitality versus.
No, it was Complexity versus I think
I thought it was
Monty.
Oh wait, no, wait. I thought it was Vitality versus Monty, and then
That
Vitality.
was the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Vitality
I've
lost.
I've been keeping up with it. I've been watching it. That was
so
wild.
2-0. Not even like a competitive
I mean, the
game.
thing
Monty
is,
played so good.
Monty's like an underrated team.
Yeah.
I feel like they have a lot of good tools on there. But just seeing CS, it was the most Valve way to release a game I've
Yeah.
ever seen in my life.
It's like they don't care. Like, here you go. You wanted it. Finally, we'll give it to you.
they-
No, no. What are you doing next Wednesday? Was the tweet, and then
Yeah.
it just dropped out
Yep.
of literally nowhere, and everyone's like, "What the hell?"
And I think it's so refreshing. Like, I've been playing CS2 just a little bit with like Bryson. Like, play a little bit with Bryson. I was trying to play with you actually, but I just looking at the leaderboard because there's a premiere, which is basically ranked, and there's a leaderboard. It's so refreshing to see like old CS pros and like Freiburg, Get Right,
I love
Forrest, like all the NFP players are on like top 10 leaderboards.
Yeah.
Stewie 2K,
I mean,
Simple, Olaf Meister.
Stewie's like,
Not even just them. Shroud's back
Shroud,
playing.
yeah.
Hiko's
Yeah.
been playing again.
Yeah, but like top 10 or like the
Yeah.
super OG. Like people think they're washed.
yeah,
yeah.
those people are crazy.
Yeah.
I think anybody that argues that like Get Right, Forrest, Freiburg,
my-
Stewie, Shroud, Hiko, if they argue any of them are washed, I want to see you go into
Yeah.
a 1v1 with
Yeah.
literally any of them. You get the gun choice, you pick the map, you pick the side. Let's just see how it goes, you know?
Speaking of CS2 and Shroud, how do you guys feel about the take that he says Valorant's gonna be a better game? Plus, and it's also Valorant's also a harder game now.
Shroud hasn't had a good take in like 5 years, in my opinion. He's been missing.
To me, I feel like CS has a higher or a lower skill floor but a higher skill ceiling
Yeah.
is how I feel like in general.
Wait,
That's what I've been
lower.
saying.
Wait, so what do you mean lower
So,
skill floor? Like
it's
it's easier to get
for
into?
people to get into
I
CS
disagree.
than it is for Valorant.
I think the
I
learning.
disagree.
I think the learning curve is way steeper in Val.
There's
because-
way more people.
No, that I agree with that. The
My-
learning curve is way
My
steeper.
argument with Val is because of just how many agents there are and abilities. If you don't like have any prior experience with a shooter, it's way easier to look at like CS:GO and be like, flashbang, don't look. Smoke grenade, blocks path. You know, compared in like the shooting mechanics are similar enough, so I'm not really arguing that or anything like that. You know, and also like a lot of the map gimmicks can be a little confusing if you've never seen it before. Like imagine putting somebody who's literally never touched an FPS game and putting them on bind.
I don't know. It's like there's so many people who play Valorant and that's their first FPS and they get so well into it like the first couple months. Like I have a friend, his name is Justin, right? And he got a computer, I want to say when I was a sophomore in high school. And that was his first computer game, like Valorant. And within 6 months, he was already diamond.
Yeah, and I'm not.
because once you start playing, you're gonna start
Yeah.
grinding.
Yeah.
Then that means
Yeah.
you just
But-
constantly improve.
But there's people in CS who've been playing for years, like 6,000 hours, and they're like still like Master Guardian, like not that high rank in CS. Like they still have a lot to learn. Like I just think CS as a game is so hard to get into and so hard to learn just because like there's lineups for smokes. You don't just like
You
pull out
see,
an iPad
the
and
thing
put
is,
smokes.
in general, I feel like for smokes and stuff like that, at a lower level, you don't have to understand how to do lineups and stuff. At least for
Yeah.
me, like I play the game and I have no clue how to do any lineups. I literally just play the game and have a good time.
I don't know how to use util, but since I'm good in Valorant, I just swing them and one tap
Yeah.
them.
And I think with CS, like the mechanics are way more required, right? Instead of like Valorant, like you could see it doesn't really require that much mechanical skill, but rather game sense, I'd say. Like for example, in CS, you have to memorize the spray transfer, like the spray patterns for every gun.
I feel like just because CS has been out way longer, because Valorant's still like what 3 years, and they're constantly adding new maps.
Yeah,
and agents.
around 4 years.
But once it starts to like plateau, people are playing it for like years and years and years, and there hasn't been like that much new interesting content. Then I think it'll get more like mechanically involved.
Mm-hmm.
But like I mean, I don't know. I just think that's just because Valorant's adding more content than CS has been. It's so
Valorant
much
will
slower.
consistently add content because it's Riot Games. The game will
Yeah.
Riot will refuse a game to die.
Yeah.
I really wish that they would like slow it down once they get to like that number of agents, because I don't want them to go down the Rainbow Six Siege route where they
don't-
just keep
Yeah.
adding and adding and adding, and the game just gets overwhelming, and it's not
It
even
did.
an FPS anymore. It's literally like a chess game because of
Yeah.
how much agents there are.
CS to me is no longer an FPS game. It's more so a strategy game where you have to shoot people.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think that I know everyone's probably heard the like stuff about the next agent being a duelist, right? At this
It's
point,
something, yeah.
right? I think that after this next agent comes out, I think the most that they should add is maybe 1 to 2 more.
Like I think
Or I
There-
think it gets over bloated and
You're
people
absolutely
start
right.
stepping on each other's toes in terms of roles, which we're already seeing some now with like Harbor and Viper being somewhat similar-ish in terms of like what they fill,
That's why
you
you
know.
just play both.
yeah.
Which I love playing Harbor. Harbor's really fun. I think he's really good. But like just seeing like how we're already seeing some overlap between characters, and we're only 3 to 4 years into content at this point. If we go much farther than this, I'm concerned that we're gonna start
Yep.
seeing stuff just keep stacking up and stacking up, and
It's also
it's not
gonna be,
even
like-
gonna.
And that's why Rainbow Six Siege, like a lot of people stopped playing it. And the only
Yeah,
reason why the
stopped
game
That's
is
why I
relevant,
stopped.
and the only reason why that game is relevant is because of a streamer, right? Like Jinxie, if you guys know who that is.
Love
but,
Jinxie.
I hate Jinxie.
Love Jinxie.
But yeah, that game, it's so hard to get into now because they expect people to start playing when the game came out, and as they add new stuff, people adapt
Keeping
to
up
that.
with it.
But if you're brand new and like you start playing like 2021, you have to learn so much compared to what you had to learn in
Yeah.
2015.
Yeah.
And that's so hard to get into as a player.
I started playing in Grimsky, which was when Maverick came out, and even then I would say that the game was really hard to get into because there was already too much out, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger. Like imagine looking at someone and being like, hey, you see the Aruni over there? Half the people that I just said that play Rainbow Six Siege, like
and
in the
even
past,
the
have
names,
no clue what I'm
even the
even talking.
names are like so similar. Aruni, Amaru, like some people get that mixed up. Like
I don't
even the
even know
names
who
in
these
Siege.
people are. I stopped playing the game.
Yeah.
But I
I
started
have like 10
playing.
hours in Siege, so like.
I started play. I have like I think I have 8,000 or something.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was in
I
there.
don't have 8,000.
But
I haven't put them out,
I started playing in 2015, where the only map was Presidential Plane, and it was a beta. And I played I think for up until 2021, so like just almost 7 years, like just completely almost every day, just grinding that game. I was in like tier 2 playing and stuff like that, and I don't know, like part of me just wanted to quit just because it was like just this long overhaul of just relearning every season because they add something that changes the meta completely, and it just like burnt me out.
Lion.
Lion meta.
Lion Dokkaebi meta sucks.
And now even in the game, like I still keep up with it. Like the players, like just yesterday, Bolo played it. Like he returned in a match.
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's
as
really
a
good.
as a stand-in.
That's nice.
And just like the meta now, it's like all shotgun meta. Like there's sledge shotgun.
Did you see what they did? They made it so ADS shotguns basically can like one tap from 10 meters in a game.
Sounds really fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
You don't.
It's like a fun game.
I love FPSs where shotguns are really good. That's why I love the Judge at Valorant. It's really
Dude,
good. I
yeah,
love
dude.
shotguns
Buff
in
the
depth.
judge. Buff the judge. It's
Yeah,
not that
buff
good.
the Judge and the Shorty. Not good weapons. Buff shotguns
Nah,
and all FPS.
I
Yeah,
know
they're not even that good.
Yeah.
See, that's why I just loved playing Modern Warfare 2019. You know, everyone loved that double barrel.
725.
The 725 made me want to
Jesus.
kill myself.
That
like,
was just
Don't
not.
get the fire shotgun. That was even better.
Nah,
that
it
was Black Ops, I think.
No, fire
No,
shotgun
they
was,
added fire shotguns
was
to
There was, like-
2019.
Yeah.
There was a Black Ops game where you literally got hit by like a shotgun pellet and you'd burn and die.
I'm pretty sure it was Cold War. Cold War had
Yeah,
that.
No, I think it was Black Ops 4
Alright, 4, it
actually.
might have
But
been
4
4.
had that too.
Because it was like that perk attachment that like there's like a perk
E-
attachment.
I know what you're
Black
talking
Ops
about.
4 had that.
Yeah.
I don't think Cold War had that.
I know Modern Warfare 2019 had fire shotguns.
Yeah.
I stopped playing the game once they came out.
Oh yeah, because
Uh,
you do ammo type. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. I stopped. I played so much 2019 and I never leveled up any shotgun because I felt bad and I didn't want to, but I was still shitting on people with guns that weren't
Yeah.
shotguns and it felt good.
I just used the Growl till it got nerfed.
Yeah.
I forgot what I used. I think I used
M4, Grau. What else is really
MP5,
good? MP5, MP7,
MP7. I love it.
I used some gun that like
Car 98. Love the Car 98.
Car 98, so
I forgot what
good.
it's called. It's an AR.
Um,
It might have been the Grau.
Probably the Grau or M4. Maybe
It
the
looks like a
ARX.
mixture between a Galil and
it's the
an
Grau.
M4.
It's the Grau.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Or it might have been the ARX.
Did it have like that like pin needle
Yes,
as the
in the
iron
middle.
sight?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the-
Okay,
it's
then
the
it was the
Grau.
Grau.
Yeah, that's Grau.
I think it was
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, I love that gun. I used to play Warzone.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
bored of Siege, and like, dude, that gun in Warzone was so fun to use.
You literally were what, shooting 5-6 bullets
Yeah.
at someone and they were dead.
Yep.
You see, the thing is, my favorite Warzone meta was Grau meta.
Yeah.
Because after that, we just got into stuff that was so ridiculous
Yeah.
that
But the Grau was way too broken.
Oh.
If they just slightly nerfed it and kept everything else the same, it would have been fine. But no, just fire shotguns, guys.
And
Great
I think
addition.
thing
I
is,
think
like-
most games have this issue where they're in this like honeymoon phase and they want to be innovative and try something different, and then it goes south from there always.
yeah.
Like nerfing the Grau, in Valorant, like just a lot of
Jet's
stuff.
useless. Yeah.
Jet nerf. I really hated that Jet nerf.
The most recent one or
Yes,
the
Most
other?
recent
Okay.
one.
And almost
And even
any jet nerf,
the-
except for like when
So-
2 smokes, 2 updraft, and right click refresh gone was fine.
I
So-
really liked the addition of like having to time your dash.
That was I liked
I thought-
that. I thought it
I
actually
thought Jet 3
made
smokes was insane.
I think Jet 3
7
smokes was
second
bad.
3 smokes.
Yeah.
You were playing. You just didn't run smokes. That was the TSM strat. They put Wardell on Jet, did not run smokes, as you had
Oh,
smokes up for 7
I
seconds.
remember this.
Yeah.
I remember
Speaking
this,
about
yeah.
Wardell,
Well, I played it.
do you know what happened with Wardell
The
recently?
stream sniping.
What
thing?
happened with Wardell?
So he was playing ranked and he queued
with
on his
Tarek stream
team
sniper.
and he queued with a dude that religiously stream snipes Tarek, and he queued exactly when Tarek was queuing. They were waiting for him to be on the other team, and he was stream sniping and giving comms against Tarek as like a streamer, and he was live on Twitch with like
Wait,
3,000 viewers.
To Wardell.
To the
Wardell.
whole team, which Wardell was on,
And Wardell
And-
was streaming, and
Wardell-
Tarek was streaming on the other team, DMing Wardell, having him added on Riot, and saying, "Why are you doing this? WTF?" And
And-
Wardell was like saying, "I'm not doing it."
And Wardell had purposely queued
Yes.
with this guy.
Yes.
I don't think, from what I've understood about it, Wardell didn't think he was gonna fully stream snipe him, but then he did, and he just didn't do anything about
No,
it.
there's a clip of him on the next game, Bind, like not the Ascent game,
Yeah.
Bind, playing with him, and he was like, "Tell us where they are," like saying to
Oh,
the guy.
Yeah, all right, that's crazy.
Wow.
I thought he queued with him one time, didn't think he was
Yeah,
gonna do
no,
it.
it
and
was
then-
multiple games. It was, I think, it was 2 or 3, and then everyone was just dogging on him.
Yeah,
He ended
yeah.
stream, and then I
Can't-
don't think he's like,
I think he's been live since.
Can't,
I think he has.
can't Wardell get like banned on Twitch for that?
He
'Cause
was
I'm
banned on
pretty
Twitch
sure.
and Valorant.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure like he's suspended or like or some
Yeah,
something.
it's
like
against
that.
COS.
Yeah.
on both platforms.
that's really scummy.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know why he would do something like that.
Especially
like it's,
for someone who's like, I would consider him one of like
The OGs of Valorant.
the OGs of Valorant.
yeah,
You know,
that
like
TSM team of like
was
some
insane.
Rosa, Drone,
Drone.
Wardell,
Drone was
Hayes.
one of my favorite players when the game.
Hayes.
when
Hayes.
was there.
Hayes was there.
and like just seeing the great stoop so low, I guess is like the best way to put it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he stooped low after he got dropped from TSM.
And he's like, he's
Yeah.
top 10 Radiant every act. It's like, why would you even need a cheat to like
Yeah.
win? Like you're already
He,
there.
he doesn't. I just don't know why he did it. He literally
Yeah.
doesn't need to do that.
I don't know, man.
I remember back in 2021, I like randomly queued into a deathmatch with Wardell. I didn't even know he was live, but then I went to a stream and I saw my name on there. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even do that bad. I got like 18 kills, but he like obviously
Dude,
won.
like I remember the first time I played like in a high like Immortal Radiant lobby, and I was like freaking out because had played against 100 Thieves Derek on their team, and he was live, and I played really well. I was like Sky, he was Sky. I was Sky diffing him. I had like 30 kills on Sky on Lotus,
Damn.
and I was just getting dogged. Like I was getting called a stream sniper and stuff.
Bro, every streamer, if you play well against them, insta stream sniper. It
Dude.
happened to me against Average Jonas. This guy just assumed if you beat him in a game, you're stream sniping.
I have a story about Average Jonas, dude. It was Lotus as well, and he was on my team. And I guess he only hit Radiant once because he's not really a
Yeah.
Radiant player. He's like
only,
low
I think
Immortal.
he's only hit it once. He's a Immortal 2.
And he was on my
multiplayer.
team, and he went like 0-15, and he was just like trying to IGL, and no one would listen to him, and he just had this like like panic attack on her team, just yelling at everyone. And I was like, it's Average Jonas. Like, how do you like? I never
That's
expected
really
that.
that's really strange
Was he
to
live,
me.
Phil?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was live. I think I showed you. Did I
Doing that
show
all
you?
live
Yeah.
is crazy.
that's really
Like,
interesting.
it's out of all people.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
someone said to him, "Yo, dude, you make Aim Labs commercials. You should follow your own advice."
Oh my.
Wow.
Because in the VCT, he was in an Aim Labs
Yeah, the Aim Labs
commercial,
commercials,
Wow.
yeah.
and someone said that to him.
That's really funny. Wow. I mean, we had mentioned Wardell with like the TSM stuff, so I
Yeah.
think this is a good transfer point to Roster Mania currently.
Yeah, roster
Oh,
mania,
it's
dude.
insane.
Which comes around every VCT season between champs and then
The next season.
in the
This
next
one's
season.
crazy though.
But this one has been chaos incarnate. Like, holy.
Where do you even want to start?
Let's start with Ascension, like that whole thing.
Oh,
with
yeah,
M80,
the guard?
the guard.
With the guard.
I
Let's
think
just
that's
start
the,
with
that's the good because that's how it
M80 and
started.
guard. Let's start with M80 and guard because that's like the controversy that kind of started everything, and then everybody kept watching it after that because they're like, what's gonna happen next? You know?
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know, guard had qualified through Ascension to make it into the next season of VCT for like top tier for tier 1.
What is it called? What's the actual name?
Ascension? What do you mean?
It's Ascension, and then it's.
VCT.
I think there's another name
It's
for
Challengers?
No,
It's 3. It's
Challengers
Last
is
Chance.
Ascension.
It
It's
is?
like
Challengers is
Challengers
Ascension.
is
Challengers
Ascension.
is Ascension, but like tier 1 has a name, and I can't think of the actual
Okay.
name.
I'm
But
just
whatever.
VCT. Valorant.
I just
It's
say
Champions
it's VCT.
Tour.
But there's an actual
Yeah.
name for it, and I just can't. think of it.
Champions.
No,
No.
that's the tournament. It's whatever.
I know what you're talking.
I
Like I know that there's
I think I know what you're talking about.
Like
Oh,
the league.
Yeah, they moved to the Americas
Americas
League.
League.
Americas
That's
League.
actually they just moved
So-
to the Americas League.
Guard was supposed to move up into America's League after beating M80 in grand finals for Ascension,
Mhm.
which was a really good game. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It was back and forth the entire time. Both teams looked amazing. Then afterwards, Guard announced that they are basically dropping everyone, and that the organization is basically just not carrying the team up into America's League.
It wasn't
Um,
just them though. It was a bunch of like their employees too,
Mhm.
right? It was
Dude.
employees like almost
So
every
what
team.
happened
So-
was
Earlier this year, they've like laid off like all
That's
of
what
their
I was just
creative
about
team.
to say. That's what I was just
It
about
was
to
like
say.
in February or something. They laid
I
off.
remember that.
I remember
Yeah.
that. I was
And-
gonna say that it was a subtle build up, and
Yep.
it's like not like something out of the surprise
And
because they were laying off people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they dropped their entire creative team, basically they didn't meet like Riot standards and stuff for certain things, I think, and they weren't allowed to in the first place. Well, then Riot was just like, okay, well, Guard's not going to be in it. We just won't have another team.
That was insane. I
Yeah.
still
Which
can't believe
I
they
don't-
almost did
And if
that.
it wasn't
Everyone-
for
Everyone was pissed. Everyone was saying either A, they need to let the Guard roster
Just compete.
compete under either no organization or get a new organization to sponsor them and just let that happen because the players are in the spot, or B, that they need to allow for M80 to move up as the second place finishers who still had an organization that was backing them. Those were the two arguments going on then. Then Riot backpedaled really heavily after seeing everyone
hate
give them
everybody
flack.
was going in.
And G2 picked up the Guard core.
Everyone
Four
except
of
for
them.
Tex, because
Except
Tex
for
didn't want to
Tex.
come back.
Because I think Tex was just done. I'm pretty sure.
No,
And-
he
or-
just didn't want to play with the guard
He
anymore.
didn't. Yeah, he.
Mm.
There was a very subtle chemistry issue
Yeah.
between Tex and I think
Valen.
Valen. Yeah.
So I think Tex did get signed to another org. I think for Ascension stuff, right?
He's not been
Or
signed yet. He
not
was
yet?
rumored to go to NRG, but that did not happen
Yeah.
as of yet.
Yeah, because he previously played for Energy.
Oh, okay. But then we had G2 pick up the core 4 and then add in Jogamo from EG,
Mhm.
which
Is that confirmed?
that's basically confirmed.
yeah,
I think
it's-
Jogamo even had like a stream saying that he was on G2.
It's like in soccer,
or
where like if someone visits like a country and like a team and they're like in talks and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
it's like basically confirmed.
which is all because EG decided to give their entire Val roster a pay cut after they won champions, which I'm not.
They did not give them a pay cut. They gave
or
them
option
an option to
to
either
s-
leave
or
get
get
their
a pay cut.
salary cut. What 3/4 or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why
it
would they
was-
do that though?
because
Are they out of money or something?
I don't think so. They're a prestigious org.
No.
Like in League of Legends, they're very big. In
Esports-
CS, they're
They're
really
also
big.
sponsored by a Premier League soccer team in Wolves.
Wolves. Wolverhampton.
to be honest, I think a lot of the esports like black hole is kind of showing up in a lot of these orgs where we're seeing a lot
Esports doesn't. Orgs do not make money. The only
Mhm.
org that is profitable currently is if you know who Lachlan is. They're
yeah
Australian.
power
Power. Yes,
yeah.
they are the only profitable esports org as of today.
Yeah.
What about Navi?
So
Nope.
You don't think Navi are profitable? Okay.
basically
It is. I think that is an actual statistic.
Astralis?
nope.
Wow.
Basically, no one right now is profitable. Everybody's sinking money, so everyone's losing
Actually,
money.
100 Thieves might be because of
Clothing.
of-
Apparel.
Apparel.
Yeah.
But it's like they're sinking money, and it's like we just don't have enough money right now. We have so many teams going on, so money has to come from somewhere. And they just decided the Val team that just won champions has to get a cut.
To be fair though, I don't know if you guys know any Val salary numbers. They're absurd.
Oh no, I'm not
Val,
saying
no what?
Their salary numbers.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like this isn't true. I don't know how true this is, but
I
it's
don't know the
rumored
salary.
from other streamers, from other people I know who are higher up in Val, like who are like tier 2, tier 1 people. Like people are getting like the base tier 2. Some of their salaries are $25,000 a month. Tens might be getting.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how true this is. Don't quote me.
Like just from their contract or like
This is just contract.
Oh my.
Oh my God.
It was rumored Tens when he first signed to Sentinels was making $100,000 a month.
Mm-hmm. Which
Well, it
That
makes
was,
sense.
and that's just from his contract, not from Twitch, not from YouTube.
I think
not from anything.
Sentinels
'Cause we
are
still like the
an
most-
exception though as an
They
organization.
almost they might have to shut down soon.
yeah,
Really?
Sentinel.
Why?
They're running out of money.
Yeah, I'm
Well, I
pretty
think-
sure
Well,
Sentinel.
they got like the
is
two
running
most
well.
popular Val content creators on their team.
Yeah, but
now.
the owner is
Yeah.
sent or the
Rob Moore.
Rob Moore. He's like a billionaire.
Just because the owner has money doesn't mean that they're willing to just keep sinking
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like
There was a tweet 2 months ago where they said they had 4 months left of operation.
something like that.
Actually,
yeah.
you're right. You know why? Because long time ago, Sentinels wasn't even in Valorant. It was a Overwatch team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And XQC was signed to Sentinels, and so was Sinatra and Tens. And they had to get rid of one because it was just too much money,
Yep.
and they chose to get rid of XQC as a content creator. And then they brought on Sinatra, and then that whole thing happened, and then Tens
Yup.
came on.
And then
So yeah, like they definitely like care about like budgeting and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
which is completely fair. I'm not like blaming them
No.
for not wanting
No, yeah.
to,
course
keep
not.
losing money. It's just really hard to see a lot of these super talented players not having a place to play at anymore, and especially seeing like some of these people, they don't have like the streaming or like YouTube careers to
to back
it.
up.
They only have their skills as a player and their salary from playing. And
Calm
you
is
know.
the biggest example. If you,
Yeah.
Oh
before,
yeah.
Before even last year when he got signed to EG, he was
100
still
viewers on Twitch. Not
almost
even.
less.
I watched
I
him a lot.
watched Calm.
I watched
I
Calm a
liked
lot.
Calm.
Same
And-
thing with
But he was before he even was assigned to a crew and he was on Complexity.
Yeah.
I watched Calm.
and Com
fan.
is
Now
of the-
debatably one of the best initiators in the world.
Mhm.
I'd say top 3.
I would say top 3 as well. I would agree with that.
Top 3 recon. You're saying he's a top
No,
3?
just initiator.
Just
Like
initiator.
Flash and Recon, he's top 3.
Whoa, that's a take and a half.
I would agree with him on that. I would back that. There's only like 1 or 2 that I can think that I would put above Com right now.
Who are they?
Who?
One of them's Leo from
Leo,
Fnatic
yeah.
or Leo.
Of course, I think he's the best in the world.
I think he is as well.
Leo Chronicle. I'm just gonna go Leo Chronicle Redgar. Let me go. His teammate Ethan, who's the best Flash initiator debatably in the world.
I think Calm is a better initiator.
As a whole,
As a whole.
No.
on the whole, I would say Com is
I'm
better
taking
than
Ethan.
Ethan.
No, I love Calm.
I'd rather have Calm than Ethan.
You're crazy.
Just for
Bro, I've
flexibility's
been-
sake, yes, I
I've
would
been
agree with
watching.
that.
I've been watching Ethan when he was called Breeze, or not Breeze, Naughty, and like his name spelled backward in CS like for years. I was a huge Ethan fan. Like when his name was backwards, and I
Calm
could
better
tell
than
you,
Ethan?
I could tell you for a fact that
I like-
Calm, yeah, dude.
I would say Com purely because of his flexibility over Ethan.
Ethan's way more flexible. Do you see the roles
I'm
he's
saying
playing 100 Thieves?
no, I'm saying in terms of initiator wise. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm not saying otherwise. But if we're talking purely
And just
initiator,
mechanically, Calm is like so
He's so
good
good.
mechanically. Like
Yeah.
I think he's the like up there mechanically too, like top 10 mechanics.
Top 10 mechanics.
Yes, as a
Uh,
like
Really? You
mechanical
really think
set.
he's
I'm not
think he's
sure.
very good.
No one hits his like he hits
I'm
spray
not
transfers so consistent. Every game there's a clip of him hitting like a 2-piece spray transfer.
Yeah,
every game.
He is a very good player.
He's the only
I'm
person
not-
I think that's mastered like spray transfer headshots with a Vandal. Like he does it so often. Like he's a Phantom player, but there's clips of him with a Vandal just headshot flick, just full spraying, never stopping, letting go of mass one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never seen someone do that like that much.
I think the one player that I think it's kind of underappreciated mechanics wise, which I think is still appreciated, but not just to the same degree, is like Durka.
Durka, yeah.
Durka,
no, he's not underappreciated.
I think he's
He's
top
like the
3.
second best duelist in the world. Third best duelist in the world.
the thing is,
Who's the best?
I hear
it has to be Demon One. There's no, you can't argue it right
But
now.
he played controller.
He also played Jet very heavily.
Yeah, but like when you talk about a duelist, like just only duelist, you know what I mean? Like
I mean, I would agree with Demon One
it's
currently
Demon.
being the
It's
number
Demon One, Ospas, Durka, all very close.
The thing is, I feel like a lot of people talk like in general. I'm not saying
is
that.
it fair to put Demon 1 in that duelist category
Yes.
though?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
He was a demon. He's a duelist player when he was
Didn't
in
he play
tier 3. He was a duelist player.
Didn't
when
he
was in
play
tier 2.
controller more in the VCTs though?
He played Astra like 3
Astra
or 4
Brim.
times.
No, he played Brim a lot too on Fracture.
Yes, because they play Joggamon Race.
Yeah, they do.
But he's mostly duelist.
Because
Yeah.
he's like the Jet. Like when you think about Jet nowadays,
Currently, it's him.
it's
What about
currently
something?
Demon One.
He is also dirty.
I
think he put him at 4.
Is he best opper right now?
No.
Who's best opper right now? Durka?
Durka. Aspas.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aspas. Yeah, you're right.
Aspas probably.
Aspas.
Then Durka.
the thing is, I feel like people talk about like Demon One, Ospas, and then something as like with their mechanics just being so godlike, and I feel like Durka kind of just gets a little underappreciated for what he can do, especially in the team that he is. I guess the entire thing is because of how good just Fnatic is as a core.
Yeah, just having that core is
Mhm.
like you kind of get like a duelist on a team is usually the carry, and they have that like
And
Yeah,
but,
like that
it's the
spotlight.
initiator player.
But
Well,
no,
like
but
the
what I mean is
kills.
like highlights.
Oh, the highlights. Yeah,
Highlights. Like
And-
you don't see an initiator getting a
Getting
1v5, 1v4 ace. Like that's Durka that gets those clutch clips
But
and
the
stuff.
thing is, like, as a whole, it's Fnatic, so
Yeah.
everyone's so
So
good on that
good.
team.
Yeah.
Anyone can get it. So I
Yep.
feel like Durka just kind of gets overlooked because of how good the entire team is.
People already just know already how good he is that, like you're saying, they overlook him. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, he's already so good. I'm going to go look somewhere else.
Exactly. So, I mean, obviously, as a Paper X fan, I love something. Something's amazing. Something's my goat. All right. But
I have a hot take about Paper X.
what's your hot take about
With no
Paper X?
Forsaken, there's no Paper X. Like I think
Ooh.
that team is solely built on him just because of how flexible he is and how consistent he is. If they don't have him, then that team is not going anywhere.
As a Paper X fan, I might agree with you on that.
Because
to be
he
honest.
before something and before CGRS had to like stand in for a while
For
for
Benkai?
For
What?
Benkai.
Well, no, he stood in for
Something.
For
He
something.
stood in for
Yeah.
something.
You're talking
at
about
Masters.
the team when it was
Like before
the same core, but it's Benkai instead
yes,
of something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that team, like having Forsaken on Jet, because he was duelist, like
Yeah.
he was Jet
It was
main,
him and Jing. They were
and
playing
then
double
him
duels.
making that transition to that Sky initiator was just so
Killjoy.
good, and he was so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Killjoy.
And I won't I would agree with you
And if they
100% that Forsaken kind of
Yeah.
helped made Paper X. Which ironically, I think that you guys as a whole, like for the varsity team, play very similar-ish to how Paper X plays. In in
no,
like
we low key
style-wise,
no
style-wise at
Paper X.
least.
We low key run it down like they do.
Like you guys have the,
we just kind of swing.
you guys have like that same like general aggressiveness that is like on par with
I'd
Paper
say-
X.
I'd say yes, but not for the same reasons, if that makes sense. Like the way Paper X plays is very like aggressive, and then they slow down.
They're
in
way more
post plants.
disciplined after.
Yeah, we don't slow down.
Yeah.
We hit that gas pedal and never let go of it, if that makes sense. Paper
Yeah.
X, they start the round very, very like
Mm-hmm.
hard, and then they slow it down a lot.
But Paper X also knows when to show nothing in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then explode
Yep.
30 seconds into the round.
They're very
which-
like acceleratory team. Like
Yeah.
it's either nothing happens or
Everything
everything
happens.
happens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
And for us, it's just everything happens all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
which
Which is we're working on
I mean,
it.
it's
Yeah.
we're still like
It's been a new team every
new
year
team, yeah.
for Miami since even before I was here.
Yeah, so I'm sure that
So,
a lot of
wait.
it's just adjustment periods.
How many semesters have you played?
I've only played one. I did not make the team first semester. My
So
first semester.
you were in last semester,
I was
right?
on the last team last
So
semester.
who was on your team?
It was me, Bryson, Ethan, Cody. Then we had someone named Chance, who left the team, and then we had Saban on our bench and Luca. So midway through the season.
Okay, then how is that core 3 gone with you guys? Because you guys are on the team now, like Ethan, Cody, and you.
I mean, like I said, we almost beat the top 15 team in the
Yeah.
nation. We also almost beat Mizzou, who's ranked, I don't know, they were ranked 7 at the time.
Wow.
We
With-
literally
with,
lost with Ponder,
Yeah.
who left Miami. That we played them and we lost 7-13, but it was all 1v1s.
Yeah.
Every round was left to a 1v1, and
Yeah.
we just didn't win it.
Which I think the kind of unsung hero of like the varsity team, at least from what I've been seeing, is Sheeb. I feel like
He took the. I was talking to him over the summer because we had no clue who was calling. We also didn't know the team, but we kind of had a feeling it was going to be the same core for the most part. So I was talking to him. I was like, what? Who's calling for us? I was like, is it me or you? I'm like, I already told him. I was like, I'm willing to step back and play in the controller or sentinel role. He's like, no, I got it. So, I mean, yeah, I guess in that sense he is. He's the unsung hero who stepped into the role that we needed.
And just watching him on that Sunset map, Sunset, I think
that
that was
map.
2 weeks ago.
Was I playing? I think I was.
I think you were playing
was,
because
Sky
he was playing
Initiator.
Harbor.
Yeah.
on
then you were-
Sunset.
yeah.
Wait, wasn't that like the game where it was just like a smoke, like 13-6?
Yeah.
Sunset
It was
or something?
13-6 because you had gone into half. I think it was like 7-5 or something like that into half, and then you guys just rolled them on attack.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And just kind of seeing Sheep just kind of like take control almost of the game while still playing IGL is like.
Fragged over him. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm saying, like he was playing Harbor in like.
No, he has the
I
carrying
think he
potential.
dropped like 24 or something like
I think
that.
he finished
that
the game with 17 because I finished with 18.
I
or-
think
I
Something
completely
like that,
overestimated
yeah.
that, but like.
But no, it was still a great performance from him because
In-
he's still calling and is still getting a high value.
it's a hot take, and it's only been like one map to show. But when I was watching that Lotus game, I think he is so much better on a Sentinel than a controller, just because of how he plays as a lurker. Like I remember one round,
He's
you
a
guys
very
were
good lurker.
you guys were walking up B, and a chamber op or raised rocket, one of those two things caught you, and he lurks up like a rubble.
Oh, yes, the
hides
last
behind
round
rubble,
of
and
the
he
half.
gets a 2K. He gets a 2K just to instantly give you guys man advantage, and then you guys end up winning that round.
Yes, there was the last round of the half.
And I was
from our
casting
match.
that.
Yeah, and they were raised because we break the chamber trip every round because that's something we don't do. I was yelling at our team. I was yelling at us. I was like, guys, we're breaking this util every round or else they're never going to rotate. So then the last round of the half, they had raised ult. They pop it. I dog. So he's stunned, can't kill us with the ult. And then Ethan, since they're so focused on B, gets to wrap around, I think A, right, you said?
They opened breakable
And then
the
he
raid,
wrapped in.
Yeah, he wrapped in and got two,
free
and then you
kills
guys
with
pinched.
focusing us.
Yeah,
And
and I think him as a lurker, and especially in clutch situations, it's much easier for him to like clutch, like because he had a 1v3, was it, or was that Lucky?
Oh, Lucky's 1v4?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And then no, but I'm
I
not
think
talking
Ethan had
about
1v3.
not on C, on A. It was like he was in tree, he gets 2 on site,
I
and then
think
it's
so.
a 1v1, and he ended up planning C, and then he gets the last kill.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a 1v3. Yeah.
I unfortunately did not get to watch the match earlier this week. I had some other stuff and was not put on the casting desk or anything like that. Obviously, I know that you both casted.
Yeah.
You
I had
casted
a lot
first
of fun.
map, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of fun.
You casted
It was
with Alyssa,
Alyssa,
right?
yeah, I
she
did.
casted both games.
Yeah.
Which how was that for you? Being on the other side of it, where
Dude.
instead of like having the stress of being a player, you just kind of get to watch and enjoy the game.
Well, I did it because there's something I was curious about, and it also was a project for one of my classes. Like, I wanted to try commentary because I'm a big soccer fan, Messi fan, and my favorite commentator is.
Sorry,
just rolled your eyes
I'm
over there.
Portuguese, so I Ronaldo on top.
But there's a commentator. His name is Peter Drury, and he's like really good. Like he's the best in the sport of commentary. And I always wondered like how hard is that? as like a commentator and watching like a live action event and commentating over it, just purely improv. Like, how hard would that be? And I wanted to try it out for like something I'm familiar with, which is esports, Valorant.
Yeah.
And I tried it out. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
So I've gotten the chance to only cast once at this point. I was originally gonna.
Oh, you're supposed to cast the Akron game.
I was supposed to cast the Akron
The
game.
internet died.
Then the internet died, which I want to go into the internet saga for a second
Oh
later
my
on.
God.
But
Miami Gate.
so I ended up casting that Sunset map, not this week, but last week.
Yeah.
And you know, genuinely, it was so much fun being able to like actually do what I like, actually like be on stream and do things that I do while just watching esports at home. Because it's something that I do in general. It's just obviously I haven't really had a place to do it, and now being able to do it like in a more formal setting and actually like having a team to root for behind it, you know, that kind of feels
You're a part of something.
exactly.
And, how do you stay like? Because as a commentator, I try to stay like impartial or not biased, even though it's like a Miami broadcast and I was wearing a Miami shirt.
You could have been fully biased.
Yeah, I know I could have.
Do you hear Alyssa casting? Oh my God, the comfy carry.
Yeah. Like
it
me,
is full bias.
when I was commentating, I try to give criticism. I don't know if you guys watched my commentary.
When we watched it, I did listen to it. There was a couple things I definitely heard.
But I was definitely trying to give like criticism and like compliment NIU as how they played, because they definitely had some plays that
I actually did something somewhat similar. If you would back me up on that, possibly, because you casted it with me, I would hope. But
on Sunset?
yeah,
Where
I tried to, I stayed like partial in bias, if that makes sense. Where obviously it's a Miami broadcast. I'm going to talk about what you guys are doing great, but like if I see something that like looks a little rough, I'm not gonna like not say something.
Yeah, just flame you. We all know it's
no,
me.
but when I was commentating, I was like trying hard to like just like how a normal commentator would like you know, just give like the input of how the mistakes
There's
of that round
definitely
were
some
made.
biases in it. Like if you watch VCT, when they do like the predictions and they still cast the game.
Oh
you hear the bias. And
I was more referring to like soccer.
That's very different.
Yeah,
you're never like unbiased going into it.
Of
It's
course.
more so how you can kind of cover it up by talking about the other team as well. I mean, like obviously, if you've ever watched any VCT stuff, you can tell like while watching that there's always like a team that one of the commentators prefers. There might be one commentator that really doesn't care that much, but at least one of them always has a team, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
But it's how they kind of like still talk about the other team in that positive light that kind of like.
What's interesting is I don't really see that in CS.
CS, you
in
don't
CS
really see it.
I don't really see any bias. Like
In-
I
I don't watch
remember.
CS enough to say
So-
anything
So
about
there's
it.
this commentator's name is Anders. Do you guys know who Anders is?
I love Anders.
And he's a super Team Liquid fan, right? And I remember there was it was Mouse Sports versus Team Liquid when Nico was on Mouse Sports, and he had an insane clip with a Deagle.
It was the Deagle like 1v3 or something like that, right?
And he was like the way he was commentating that sounded like he was a Mouse Sports fan, and just to find out like
he's just an esports fan.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Esports, yeah.
So for me, a lot of like how I want to commentate is derived from two places:
Kickstar, dude. I love Kickstar
Rainbow
so
Six
much.
Siege. If anybody ever watched
I
Rainbow
love
Six Siege Pro
Kickstar
League,
so much.
R.I.P. Kickstar.
Rest in peace.
We love you, man.
I love him.
But he's one of my biggest influences because he can just kind of like say what's happening in the game at such a high level of thought
'Cause
and like
he was a pro.
explain what's happening because he was an actual pro. I try and do the best I can as a bronze player. And then just like CS because of just how explosive they can be out of nowhere. You know, like it can be like just the middle game, you know, oh, they're going to go up cat here, you know, try and see if they can push out. And here comes the push. And then, oh my gosh, a triple kill. Like just all of a sudden, like seeing that jump coming out is just really like, I don't know, kind of inspiring in a way for me to kind of see. And I just feel like we don't have that same like thing in Val necessarily, like to the same degree.
I don't think
because of the pace of play.
like the way commentators are is they all have their personality and their niche, like in other games, like even Super Smash Bros. I've never played it. I've never watched it. I've watched only like the pro games. Like the commentators have their personality of how they commentate. Same thing would Siege would Kickstar, and I forgot the other guy's name. His duo, like the guy he co-commentates with all the time. Inferno is it, and something like that.
I forgot too,
I
and
forgot
I
his
feel
name.
really bad because I love him.
I love him so much too. Yeah. But him Intero, yes, Intero, and those two, and in CS like Anders, Moses, all those people, and it's just like these personalities. Like you want them to commentate.
Yeah.
It's like even in like other sports as well, but in Valorant we don't have that.
I disagree. I want Brennan Sideshow every time.
Yeah,
Really?
I want
love
Sideshow
it.
every time. I love hearing Sideshow
I like a lot of the
commentating.
casters, but they seem to. I don't know what it is. Like maybe
It's just something about Sideshow himself. Like just something about how he commentates just resonates so much with me. And a lot of it can just kind of come down to, I feel like each game has like a style almost that's kind of like derived from it. And I feel like Sideshow has mastered the Valorant style of commentating. I feel like a lot of them have kind of like tried to take bits and pieces of like what Sideshow does and just not as well, if that makes sense.
I think like the greatest commentator, in my opinion, has to be Kickstar. Like just the way he integrated himself in every situation is like his storytelling was just so good. Like and especially for a game like Siege, it's really hard to commentate what's going on because 90% of the rounds that happen in Siege are just people standing still, holding angles, and it's really hard to commentate that. Just like a very stagnant gameplay, and he does it so well, and like that's impressive to me. I think he's the greatest like commentator.
I might have to watch a game then.
Yeah, I would highly recommend. I believe it's from like 2020 or 2019. I believe it was SI Invitational Finals.
Milan?
I think it was the one before that where G2.
G2 versus Team Empire? With joystick?
No, I think it was the one before
EG?
that. It was EG.
That
G2
is-
versus EG.
That is not Milan. That is
I think it was, or it wasn't SI.
Katowice.
It was Katowice. Yeah. That's like my all-time favorite Pro League match to ever watch from Rainbow Six Siege. Because it has my favorite team, G2. I was a
That was your
G2
favorite
fan.
team?
I was a G2
always-
Penta fan.
I was always Team Liquid. I was a super Brazilian fan.
Liquid was really good.
I wanted my favorite player was Nesk. That's always been my favorite player.
Nesk is so good. But I was a Fabian fan. I love Fabian.
I like Fabian a lot too. But I was in that team. Cantor Raketti was my favorite player.
I loved watching Kanto. He just doesn't have the same like personality to me as so. But if you ever want to like watch a R6 match and just kind of like see how like Kicks does it and how people like kind of fell in love with Six Pro League, that's the match to watch.
That's the reason why like I only watch is just for Kickstar and like just certain players I'd love watching like Shaiko. Shaiko, that is a whole story on itself. Shaiko, dude.
We don't have enough time to go
we
into
don't.
that.
But that so basically I'll just give you cliff
The
notes.
TLDR.
So there's this pro player named Shaiko, and think of like a Shroud that's not really well known, but like he's rising in popularity. And the GOAT of at the time the GOAT.
Two goats. It was Fabian and Panko.
Oh yeah, so the two GOATs of that game were accusing him of cheating and ended up getting him banned for 2 years wrongfully.
From not from the game, but from pro
League,
competitive
from
play.
competing, yeah. And it was wrongfully, and he was never cheating.
He came out immediately after his ban was over, signed with an org,
Yep,
and
BDS.
they wiped the fucking floor with Europe.
Yeah.
It was...
Wait, so how it went
been so
is
high.
that his first game back from a 2-year ban.
Wasn't it
he
against
broke
G2?
No. It was against a Brazilian team. I forgot which one, but he broke the kill record.
Yeah.
And he like
He came out swinging, and he still hasn't stopped. Like,
So
he
Siege-
still is going insane.
Siege is first to 8,
Yeah, I know that. I've
and
played
Valorant
the game.
and Valorant is first
Or
to 13.
first to
and he
7.
dropped 28. So that would be like equivalent to like
It's first
50
to
and-
7.
That's like dropping a 40.
Oh no, but it was no in that game it was 6-6 and it was overtime, so it went to
Oh,
8,
yeah.
So that's like dropping 40 to 50 kills.
Yeah,
in
in a
Valorant.
Valorant against like a really
basically.
good team. And then the game after, same tournament, he played against the people who like the best team in the world with the GOATs,
And
he
then
destroyed them.
ran their pockets.
2-0, and he
Did
was
they
like,
accuse him of cheating again?
No, because at this point everyone knew he wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was like, as somebody who was a fan of those like people that got wrecked, it was like kind of heartbreaking, but genuinely just an amazing player.
I think like his story is like just like it just displays like his resilience. Imagine you're so good that people genuinely think you're cheating and you get banned for 2 years and your passion is gone for 2 and you come back stronger. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Like imagine like Prime Simple when he had that trash team and he was just
no.
carrying every game. Imagine
God.
you get banned during that time phase where like you're just building up your name as like the greatest player and that's just gone for 2 years. That's
When
like
you
so
come back
bad.
and just rip it right back.
Yeah, dude. And even
insane.
stronger.
Were people mad at the two goats for like accusing him of that?
Oh,
Or
Pengu's reputation is pretty
so-
bad right now.
really?
A lot of
Yeah.
people weren't upset in the moment, at least on a large scale, because people didn't know who he was
Yeah.
at all. Then once the 2 years started coming to an end and people were seeing that he was coming back, they were like, holy shit,
I'll
what do you
explain
guys
it.
mean he was cheating?
I'll explain it. So when he got banned, everyone thought he was just a cheater because he got there's recoil macros in Siege because recoil is really hard to control in that
Yeah.
game, and there's a really bad anti-cheat system called Moss.
It was Battle Eye, I think.
No,
Or
Moss.
Was that before?
So Pro League has their own anti-cheat because
Oh,
Battle
they
Eye
use
is
a
bad.
separate one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Battle Eye
called
sucks,
Moss.
bro. Yeah.
And abilities are numbered keys instead of like bind it. You just G, C, whatever you guys use E. And he was pressing the 4 button a lot, and it in the anti cheat it exponentially went to like the millions. So they thought it was a macro because it said he pressed the number 4 like a million times. It was not humanly possible. So
Yeah.
they thought he was macroing, but it was just a bug on the anti cheat, and he got banned for that.
That's insane.
Yeah,
So
and
because the anti-cheat bug
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
gets banned.
But the
for 2
thing
years, and then
is-
everyone was just like, oh, because he was streaming at the time, trying to build up like a stream. So every day, everyone would come into chat like, "You're a cheater, you're a fraud, you're a cheater, you're a fraud," just harassing him. And then when he finally came back and dropped that kill record, everybody was just no one thought he was cheating anymore, and everyone started ripping on Pengu and Fabian, which were the goats of the
Goats, yeah.
game.
The thing is, I think that it was a little bit before he actually started playing Pro League that people started to kind of see the light in terms of that situation, where people kind of woke up and were like, oh, this guy isn't cheating. But I mean, to me, I'm glad that a young talent like him was able to come out of it. But there's like one tragedy that has played esports that hurts me to this day, which is Brax, aka Swag, from iBuy Power all the way back when CS:GO first released.
I have a hot take about that. I don't think Brax would have ever became anything if he didn't get banned.
I don't know, man, because the thing is, he was so good at the time that I think he would have been among the names of like Simple Nico in terms of just pure aim. I think if you had given him the chance at a true pro, like, or at least at the level of like Get Right or Olaf, people like that. Maybe not to the full Simple Nico where they're like greatest in the world, but like at least one of the like the
Upper top
yes.
top 25 player.
But the
Something
thing
like
is,
that, I
like,
feel like. Because what happened with him was he was playing on iBuy Power way back when
On a CS is CS
on CS:GO.
Yeah.
And his team had all decided to bet against themselves and throw a game.
Well,
Oh, is this
his
the team?
team.
Is this the team with Steel?
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's Steel, his name
Steel,
Dazed,
Dazed.
AZK, Skadoodle,
Ska, yeah.
and Brax.
Yeah.
and
I do know this.
they banned Steel, Brax. Kadoodle didn't get banned because they
Didn't
were saying
accept.
he didn't know.
No, he knew.
Or
So what happened was that there was this really rich like scam artist, and he offered them each $10,000 in CS:GO skins in a website called CS:GO Lounge to lose
it
their
was
game.
their lounge.
Lose their game against a team called Netcode Guides.
Yeah, because Netcode Guides was
and
awful.
that team had
Like-
Tarek, Hazed, and like other like well-known Nath, other
but
well-known
it was
players.
before like those players were like
Yeah.
good. It was like back when they were still
Yeah.
like finding their footing. They weren't
Exactly.
that good. It should have been.
It should have been like 16-2, like 13-0 basically.
Yeah.
It should have
And,
been your guys' Eastern Michigan game.
Yeah.
Like that's what it like that's the equivalent of what that game should have been.
Mhm.
And you could tell so like how blatantly they were throwing that.
Yeah, and what happened was that team, 4 of those players accepted the skins, and then at the last minute, Skadoodle changed his mind and said, "I'm not taking this."
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was that most people don't talk about is that Shazam, a player, is the one who snitched on iBuy Power and got them banned.
Oh, I know about that.
Shazam did
yeah,
that.
Shazam.
That
'cause
makes sense.
He was a part of that core of Netcode Guides, but he didn't play, and he was like part of the outside. and the girlfriend of a player named Dazed told Shazam,
Oh.
and Shazam told ESL, and then
That
they
makes
got
sense.
banned.
I mean, knowing Shazam, he's somebody that's
A lot of
very
people still hate Shazam.
Yeah,
I
they hate
don't-
him because he snitched.
I
That's
don't-
like that's his reputation. That's why
Yeah.
he couldn't be on a team
The
in
thing is-
CS:GO because he had a bad reputation
Yeah.
of snitching.
thing is, I don't dislike Shazam because Shazam is just an integrity-based person where
Mhm.
if you go by the rules, you do what's right according to X organization or whatever, then he has no issue with you. It's the second
But
you
the
start
way-
breaking it,
The way he went
Um,
about it was very snakishly.
how it went around was, yeah, I won't disagree with that. It was kind of scummy, but I think that they deserve to get banned for
Of
what they did.
course.
I'm not sure if a lifetime ban was necessarily
I think lifetime was warranted.
I
Just
think
because 10,000 at that time of
10,000 at the
CS:GO
time,
skins, because
yeah.
they were not CS:GO skins were not as expensive as they are
Mm-mm.
now. So 10,000 is like a lot.
which I won't disagree with you on that. I'm still like lifetime still seems a little bit, especially because
Lifetime's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
CS:GO's over now, so maybe it's not
the
lifetime.
thing is,
True. Maybe.
True.
Maybe.
but knowing ESL, they're not gonna.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a ban from ESL, not from
Yeah.
CS:GO. Correct.
Well, it's
Yeah, they
ESL
can
CS:GO.
I know, but it's gonna be ESGO. It's gonna be ESL CS:GO 2.
The thing
Oh,
is,
yeah.
though,
Or CS2. Sorry.
Maybe I don't know.
Thing
They're
is,
the care of the bands, though, right?
ESL's, I'm pretty sure it's carrying over basically everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's gonna the ban's gonna stay.
It's
Well,
pretty
yeah.
much, it's pretty much the same
only
game.
one player got unbanned, AZK, and the other three are still banned lifetime because AZK got unbanned. I forgot for what
which
reason.
I don't remember why he
was
did
some
either. It
appeal.
was some weird
Really?
appeal
Was that recently
BS
or
stuff.
like a long time ago?
It was around 2018, and the
Yeah,
ban
okay.
happened around 2014.
But
So, yeah.
Swag, aka Brax, or Brax, I guess. is
Braxton,
his name,
yeah.
Brax
He
he also played Val too.
he switched over to Val and tried to make a career. I think he was playing on Sentinel.
T1.
or
Initiator,
T1.
he was
T1.
in Sova main.
He played for
And-
T1 with it was him, Curry,
Skadoodle.
Ska, Spider, which is now
Saya player.
Saya,
Oh,
and I can't remember who the last player was.
but that team.
Loved that team.
That team
It
was.
could have been Nitro.
No,
'Cause Nitro
Nitro's
quit.
MPs.
No, but Nitro quit very, very early when Valorant first came out, and he played for like a while, and then he went back to CS. And
No.
then he,
No,
he's
it was
a
100
kid.
Thieves. It was 100 Thieves.
No, I know it was 100 Thieves, but
Oh.
before that, he was on a team too. I forgot what it was.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It might have been T1, but it was for like 2 months.
Yeah, probably. But
Because 100 Thieves picked up a bunch of.
it was another NA pro around that
Yeah,
CS region.
I can't remember who, but yeah,
But
It
like
could have been AZK.
seeing
might have been.
like him specifically, like the other one, Steele's like a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have any of the same like cares for him because
I do not like that guy.
I don't like him.
I love.
I don't really
Steele.
like Steele
Love
as a
Steele.
whole. But like seeing Swag just kind of like have his entire like
Career
potential career ruined because of one mistake he made when he was 18, I'm pretty sure,
16.
or 16.
16 and
He wasn't-
$10,000. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't feel like that was necessarily warranted to be a lifetime. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been banned. Like a ban for like 2 to 5 years, I'm fine with that. That's warranted. But like
the same, like Shaiko.
something like
Yeah.
Shaiko,
Because
yes.
like, if he was like actually cheating, like a 2-year ban is kind of like a slap on the wrist for
Mhm.
cheating in a pro league match.
But it wasn't
and that's
ch-
like VCT.
Yeah.
like,
yeah, no, I,
tournament.
I understand that. Yeah,
But to me, like seeing him
So yeah, it was
have
harsh.
an entire potential, like,
and he's also only 16 years. He's not
Yeah.
even an adult.
and to see someone who had the potential to be considered one of like the world's greatest CS:GO players, depending on how his career went. Obviously, I'm not saying that's how
It's
it
all
would've-
hypothetical.
It's
yeah.
all hypothetical, just based off of where his skill level was at that time. There is a chance that he got good enough over time to be in contention with like simple Nico, based purely off of from back then. And even seeing some of his clips later on when he wasn't grinding as much, you could still say that he was in the upper echelon and could easily compete on most pro
I will
teams.
say that he definitely was top 10 as a player, like in the pro scene at that time.
at that
'Cause
time.
when he got banned from ESL, he was still competing with Cloud9, but in events like Beyond the Summit, ESCA Star
Yeah.
Ladders, like stuff like that.
I was like, didn't he still compete?
Yeah, he did
He
still
did,
compete,
but
but
the-
non-Valve sponsored events, which is
Okay.
also non-ESL.
Yeah.
And
the issue though is that the second that you get banned from ESL stuff, no team's really going to
Yeah.
be willing to sign you because that's the
'Cause that's the
majority.
majority
That's
of
the
your-
money.
He was
Yeah.
in those events. He was beating like the major winner Virtus Pro team with Pasha Biceps,
Yeah, 'cause
Snacks,
he had-
Neo, Taz. Like he was
Mhm.
beating those players, dropping like 40 kills. He He was beating the Brazilian winning team LG with Cold Zero and Fallen.
and
He was destroying those teams.
and just like
So he definitely had that potential, which was sad to like see that knowing how no matter how good he is, he's not going to get unbanned.
the thing is, at this point, I think it's been too long to where he hasn't been at like that level, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You
He
know,
also got dropped from Valorant pretty early on
Yeah.
as well.
because he still was like playing like CS and stuff pretty consistently and at a higher level, but it wasn't at the same like degree as somebody who's grinding in a goal to make a pro career out of it, because he kind of understood at that point he wasn't going to be able
Not
to.
just that. Like,
It's
people
just-
who are already pro and still in scrims, it's
Yeah.
hard to maintain the same level.
It just makes me sad though, because Valorant was supposed
It
to be his
does.
redemption.
and
like,
then
He
just
couldn't do it.
Like Tens, for example, was like a tier 2, barely tier 1 CS player. Like he was on Cloud
He was
9
on Cloud9.
for CS,
Played
and then
what, like 3 games for them?
yeah,
Something like
same
that,
thing with
yeah.
Zelzis.
Yeah.
He was on the team
the
with Tens.
thing is, I feel like for people like Tens and Zelsus, you know, who were in that like tier 2, lower tier 1,
Same thing, Leaf as well with Chaos
Leaf,
Esports Club.
you know, with CS, they kind of had like, they were doing scrims consistently. They were playing the game so much. And, you know, well, yes, Valorant is somewhat similar, you know, overall, but
And especially in the beginning, it was very not util heavy. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like the
as a-
meta,
It was
dude.
like-
the meta was like Sage on every map. 'Cause that's
Sage-
the only
yeah, everyone's like
Sentinel.
Well, Sage was broken off rip.
Yeah.
But then it was what? Sage, Jet, Raze.
No, Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was-
Well, remember at the start, everyone was complaining about Razenade because they were like, an ability shouldn't be able to kill.
No, Razenade was broken back then. You had 2 of them.
Oh.
And you got one back after every kill. And
I'm not-
You got
it was still
every 2
but yeah.
kills, and you got hit stun when you got hit by the nade.
Nade.
So when the pellets came down,
You
you
just
couldn't move.
Yeah.
I'm not like disagreeing that it wasn't broken at the
I
start, but I'm
think
just saying
they
like
changed it.
they
like,
did.
before the game officially released.
Then
Yeah.
then when the halfway through the beta, it went to 1 nade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was way easier for them because they had been playing so much for, you know, that year or however long Tens and Celsius and them had been kind of playing semi-pro to pro, that making that switch to Valorant and basically becoming the Valorant, like the face of Valorant, because Tens is the face of Valorant. He's the poster boy
I
at this
agree.
point, I would feel like.
I'd say he's
For
definitely
NA, probably.
he's definitely the
NA
Mount,
wise.
he's definitely Mount Rushmore of Valorant.
Mhm.
With any region doesn't matter. He gets like 30,000 a stream on Twitch. Like he's definitely
And-
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, and he just got back from Tokyo and his first stream probably got 100K.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that he's necessarily one of the, I would say he's one of the most influential players of all
100%.
time. I'm not sure if I would say he's one of the greatest players of all time.
I would not put him up there as the greatest.
Purely based on how he has been playing recently
That's another
overall.
topic we should go into after
But-
this.
Greatest Valorant players of all time.
Top 5 greatest Valorant players of all time.
Ooh, you're hurting me.
Oh, I gotta take time to think about
Yeah,
this.
that's a.
I feel
Alright.
like I don't watch
can-
enough
you can-
esports to like
Like,
value the opinion on this. So I'm just
are-
gonna listen.
Are we saying
You can
like,
go in no order too. You can just say 5 people who would be in the top 5.
do we have to do it like mechanics based, how they played the game?
All of it.
Oh,
If we're doing okay, I have to say this because he's like a border barely outside of top 5. Saucy has to be up there, 100%. I think has to at least be. Saucy has to be up there just because of what he
So,
did
You
when
think
V.
in the top 5 though?
Yeah, which because he was pretty much the reason why Loud won that first
okay.
recency.
I have my one so far.
But
And-
that's like a
borderline?
Yeah, borderline.
For me, I would have to put Boaster
Okay, that's fair.
because I think Boaster has
He's debatably the best IGL
Mhm.
period.
and he has completely reshaped how Valorant is played at a pro league
Correct.
scene, at a pro league level.
I agree.
Then I would
Boaster.
have to say, if we're talking like duelist wise, because obviously you have to have at least one just pure frag.
Wait, do you
You
want?
know,
Let's
or-
change it. Not top 5, but let's do a top 5 best team. So like one of every role. It makes it even easier.
All right,
Just pick a role.
so Boaster.
So best role for every like.
Yeah,
what
like
do you mean?
best player. Like make a team and put the best players in it, because that's gonna be easier to do. Because then you have your
Duelist?
IGL, you have your duelist. Like, because in the top 5, if you go by stats, no IGL is gonna be there.
yeah.
That's
Well, top 5 like on their category, or top like best
what I was
player
saying
on their
before,
category.
We're gonna go into top 5, like just best players ever.
Okay, so
Okay.
just
That's hard
best,
to do.
Best player per role.
So
But now let's just do best
Yeah.
player.
Okay, best
per
player.
role.
okay, I would keep Boaster.
On
Uh,
what controller?
Probably controller. I feel like. Then I would have to say Forsaken.
On what?
That initiator. That's my bias though, coming in as a Paper X fan. So you can disagree with me
I
on that
disagree.
as much as you want.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm right for that,
No,
but
that's fine. That's have your own
then
opinion.
I like double duelist comps personally.
I'd say-
so I would say Demon 1 Aspas.
Demon won in the greatest of all time in the
Yep.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing only for a couple months. You're putting him in there.
I'd
Yeah.
say. I'd
I
say.
would.
Wait, he has one more. Who's your last?
My last, I need a Sentinel.
Forsaken could also play your Sentinel role.
Forsaken could also play the
But-
Sentinel role, but I don't think I want him to because his initiator is just so goated. God, that's hard. Shit. I need a second.
For me, the answer is really obvious.
You go your 5.
Alfier,
Oh, yeah.
Sentinel, dude.
That's a pretty.
Yeah.
But of all time.
100% all
Okay.
time. Yeah, I mean, even like when in 2020 he was like a really good Sentinel.
No, he was still very
Yeah.
good.
I would. I'll put Alfier
Okay.
as my Sentinel.
Duelist,
there.
100% would have to be Aspas. Just the way he's been playing the past couple years, he's
Okay.
always been on a high level. Durkee has always been like I think he's close second. Durkee, but I'd have Aspas. Initiator I'd do double initiator. I'd do flash. I'd put it. It's between two. It's between. Damn, I'm trying to think like how because you have to like fit this team into like make it make sense.
Yeah,
you
make
know?
it make sense a little bit.
I'd say
mean,
Forsaken as well. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say Forsaken as
Okay.
well. I
So-
said I initially disagreed, but the way this team is like too mechanically
The
gifted.
thing is,
That's an interesting
Forsaken in a way. So like for me, when I was thinking like Boaster's like a good IGL as a whole. I think Forsaken can kind of back him up in a way. Co-IGL in a sense where basically because Boaster's way more like pure like skill strategy, like we're gonna wait for them, kind of force them into our setup and stuff like that, while Forsaken kind of thinks about like the mid game, I feel like, in terms of how, at least from what I've seen with Paper X plays,
Who's been calling for them? Has it been
I
him?
changed my mind. I
oh.
changed my mind. Kawazine is best initiator over
Whoa!
Forsaken. I changed my
the
mind.
reason why Aspas is leaving.
Yep, I changed my mind.
Picks him.
Kawazine, 100%.
What
Just
the fuck?
the way he played.
Okay.
Because
Tyler looked so disturbed when he said that.
Kawazine.
So he's like, all right, we're gonna make the team fit. Now we're gonna pick the whole reason why Aspas is
Yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta remember dude, that like that team together when they had it working, like all time, Kawazine, Aspas, Kawazine, and then
Okay.
Recon I think is pretty obvious. Like
You're gonna say Leo
yeah,
all time.
all time 100%.
I know. You guys are gonna.
if
you're
I
gonna
was
be shocked at my
if
team.
I was
Just
putting
keep
double
going.
initiator, I would have put Leo.
And then controller, I'd say. I'd say Marved.
Yes.
Marved
yes.
is good.
Marved.
Of all time, he's the best controller
I'd
I've
say
ever
Marved.
watched.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that. Like that's
Still
a
need
valid
Mike.
argument. I can't disagree with
Still
you
need
And then-
with
IGL.
Marv.
And then IGL Sadhawk, 100%.
On your Sentinel.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I know my
All right,
team.
let's
You guys
hear
are
it,
gonna- you guys
Comfy.
are gonna-
I'd say no, but the thing about Marv is he's never
So
been
good.
put on a team where they're just
Energy.
consistently.
Energy.
Huh?
Energy. Envy. I mean envy. Sorry.
Oh,
Optic.
Envy. Yeah,
Envy and
Envy.
Optic, sorry.
Envy
He's-
Optic. Yeah, that's like, but that was very short lived.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like they won Masters and then went to the finals of VCT, right?
And then after that,
yeah.
they just fell apart.
And
Then
then
Ye left.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And then
Ye
Marv
left, and then
left.
Marv left, and then that ruined everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but I'd say as a controller, definitely Marv. Like just no one, or this is a hot take too. Bang. I'd say Bang.
He's my second best controller.
I'd say
Oh
Bang.
no, I love watching Bang.
I'd say
Bang's
Bang
really
is
enjoyable to
definitely-
watch.
New Jersey player. Love.
He's the
Shout out
best.
New
I'd say
Jersey.
he's the best Viper in the world. 100%.
All right.
Ooh.
I want to hear. I want to hear
Mine?
this because
All right,
you were
so
you were making this sound like
my
this is about to
hot
be
take off
controversial.
rip, Initiator, Recon, Hiko.
I don't think that's a bad. I don't think that's a hot
Give me
take.
Really?
Hiko.
I don't disagree.
I'm not. That's not
he-
as hot as a take as
I
you
don't
would
think it's a
think.
hot
I think
take.
people underrate Hiko so much. Hiko
Oh.
is my initiator.
I would say
All for
people underrate Hiko as well, but like
He's the person who like started Sova lineups and
Yeah.
changed the way Sova's meant to even be played. Because Sova was garbage when the game first came. No one knew how to
Well,
play Sova. Only
because-
Hiko.
because Hiko came in with the CS:GO mindset of lineups and stuff, which no one else has kind of like thought about at the start at least, and
Yeah.
I feel like Hiko nowadays, I would never want Hiko on my team. Don't get me wrong.
I do.
I would.
I want Hiko to come back into pro play.
If you give Hiko a year to play Valorant and scrim on a good team, he's gonna be the best in the world.
That would work too. But like, I would say I want Hiko in like a coaching role nowadays because he has like the wisdom as a pro player who's been playing for so long and has.
I wish you coached 100 Thieves after the fact with Sean Garris.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome.
If him and Sean, I think that they could have possibly made
put a
that.
Coach. Put a coach for your team as well.
Ooh, put a coach, Sean. I love Sean Garris. I love Sean Garris so much.
He's the best coach I've ever seen.
Do they have to be a Valorant coach?
Or if we're not going Valorant coaches, then who was the Astralis coach during the Dynasty?
I forgot his name.
You
Something
know
with Z.
He's with Vitality now. I would want him.
Zonic. That's what
I
was
would want
say.
Zonic for CS.
All right.
At least if I can take from anywhere.
So obviously I go Hiko. I'm gonna go Marv as well. So we're building around that.
I'd say Hiko 100%. That's not a hot take.
Really? I think a lot of people when I say I put Hiko in the top and the GOAT conversation.
I'm a bit biased though because I love Hiko.
Okay.
I wouldn't disagree with you either. I'm not sure how much I like it, like because I prefer other players, but I wouldn't like have an issue with that if that makes sense.
My Sentinel and IGL is it's probably gonna be Finesse because he's just gonna fit the team better.
Finesse is really.
He's gonna fit the team the best.
Yeah.
But do you think like he's too much of an anchor mechanically for that team? Because like every time he's always bot frag, he's always whiffing like gunfights.
So
like even in CS, he had a big reputation before he came into Valorant that he would never win duels.
So the biggest issue for him is he had to full IGL. There was no co-IGL when he was on Optic in them. And
but I'm talking about.
I think he can mechanically do it.
Are you talking about CS?
No, I'm talking about Valorant.
In CS, he had this reputation as a player that just never win gunfights. He was on a team called Counter Logic Gaming.
CLG.
The thing is, on CLG,
and Tarek was on that team, and he was like the rising star of North America, like best player before he went to Optic and FNS. Like that team, CLG became Optic.
If I remember correct, though, on CLG, wasn't he the primary IGL?
He was the IGL.
So I think he's
always been the IGL.
I think that's always been his issue, though, is he just needs somebody else to back him up on IGL, and so he doesn't have that entire thing. Which is, I can agree with that.
That's why I'm going. That's why with Hiko and Mart, who is the IGL of Sentinels, and now wants a co IGL role in general, that already matches. Plus, already ex teammates.
But what do you think about like Sadhawk?
I like Sadhawk.
He doesn't co-IGL. He's a full IGL. And he's really good mechanically. He holds his own weight. He doesn't bot.
I prefer Finesse.
But I don't know.
It's probably the NA bias in me.
Yeah.
I prefer Finesse.
All right. Who else you got? You got 2 more slots and then a coach.
Your flash initiator. Or you're not doing double initiator?
I'm gonna do double initiator. I'm between one super hot take. I'm between Peter, Asuna. I love Asuna.
Asuna's good. Yeah.
Ethan.
I don't like that.
Ethan,
and Chronicle.
I think
those are the 3.
I'm not sure if I would put Asuna on the team of greatest of all time.
I got Kawazine out of all those people.
I like.
It's only because I'm a Thieves fan, big bias. Peter has shown me on any, especially his Rays, which he doesn't want to play anymore. From conversations he's had with like Kiko that they've shared. But man, watching him play.
Oh no, I love watching him play, but I can't in my mind.
I can't fully commit to it.
I can't compare him to like a Durka or a Forsaken. I just view them on like 2 completely separate levels of play, if that makes sense. Where he's still incredibly skilled, but there's just like a little step between them.
I'm probably leaning Ethan for my flash.
Okay, and then what else you got?
The best duelist, basically, that I'm saying of all time. I think it has to be Ospas.
Yeah, Ospas is.
I think my most debatable thing on my team is the flash initiator.
I got Kawazine.
I think the most debatable thing on my team is picking Demon 1 this early.
Yeah, I agree.
Which
I love Demon 1 though. He's so good. I love that he's the villain. He took it in. I love it.
I hate Demon 1, but I have to give him so much respect because he is so good, and it hurts me.
He came from a weird game. He never played CS. He never played
Siege.
Siege.
Come from?
He came from an arena battleground game. I forgot what it's called.
PUBG or
no. It's literally called something arena. I forgot what it's called. It's a game you've never heard of. It's literally the title of it is like Unreal Engine Arena.
Oh.
Unreal Tournament? No.
Unreal Tournament.
Oh, he came from Quake.
Yeah.
He's a Quake player. Yes, I did know
He came from
that
Unreal
explains
Tournament.
why he plays Jet like that.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
damn.
Yes, he's a Quake player.
And I've never heard of that game.
You heard
Yeah.
of Quake?
No, I've heard of Quake, but I've never
Unreal
heard
Tournament.
Unreal
is
Tournament.
Like, yeah.
What is that?
It's basically like new Quake.
Okay.
It's like as close. It was like Quake trying to make a comeback. It never really stuck around, but people liked it.
That's
for a
the
bit.
game he came from.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that we're getting towards the end of it here, guys.
Well,
so
I had one question for you.
here, let's see.
Would you say Demon 1 is the Zane of Valorant?
No,
No?
because
Zane?
Zane is
Zane
from
is a
Melee player.
Zane's a melee player. Started playing like 2018.
Oh, you guys are big into Smash Bros.
Yes,
Yeah.
we actually interviewed Ferb and Lombardi last week from Smash
I'm gonna
Club.
tell you guys this then.
And that episode is the second episode that'll be coming out. This will be the third one.
Oh wow.
I wouldn't agree with you on that
Wouldn't?
because Zane is like a villain, but like everybody still loves Zane.
Yeah,
like,
I love Zane.
People hate
Is
Demon 1.
Zane the
People hate
guy?
Demon 1.
Is Zane the guy that Hungry Box beat in that clutch? Where, like, he's
Zane's the
reset?
Marth player from
Zane,
Melee.
you might be
like-
thinking of Armada.
Armada definitely.
I
was
think
the
you're
Zane.
thinking
Zane's-
Armada from
Zane's
Evo,
newer.
right?
I used to, that.
Yeah.
But Zane's just been like dominating tournaments recently as Marth.
Oh wait,
All
is
right.
Zane the Asian guy?
No.
He's from Canada.
Oh, I don't
He's
know
from
who that
Canada.
is.
Okay. So
I think you're probably thinking of Opsa.
you guys are big Smash Bros. Guys, so you might know this name. Do you know Syrup? He's ranked 49th. He was ranked 49th.
I've heard Syrup
Maybe?
before. Why?
Because I know him in person.
Oh, that's
Really?
really neat.
Yeah, so like the number 40, he was at 49 at one point.
That's
yeah,
funny.
he was.
Wait,
he-
Ultimate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
he was a good Ultimate. I've seen some clips from him and stuff over time. He's pretty damn good. I don't
Yeah.
remember who he plays off the top of my head, but
He played, when the Steve meta came out, you had to play Steve. So he started
Yeah.
playing Steve. But I
That's-
don't remember what he played
that's
before.
why I remember him. He was that Steve Main. Oh, I remember now.
Wait,
Okay,
How do you
yeah.
know him?
So my friend, who's also a top Smash player, but didn't commit the time, but whenever they played duo tournaments, they stomp. His name's Cub or Mild or however he changes his name all the time.
Yeah.
So I can't give you his name.
Yeah.
But he is friends with him, and that's how I met him. And he's like, yeah, he's like a top 100 Smash player in
That's
the world. And I was
funny.
like, what?
I know exactly who this is.
I
Now
think-
that
I
you
think I kinda
said
know.
that he switched to Steve,
Steve,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, it's him.
Yes, very
Because-
good Smash
Yeah.
player.
Because I remember he went to a tournament and upset like 4 or 5 of like the top
Yes.
20. And everybody was like, who is this guy? Because it was him and Onan, I think, that tournament that just popped off for literally no reason. And it hurt my brain because that was like 2020 or 2021, I think, right as Smash was kicking back
Yeah.
up again. All right. Well, now we actually kind of need to like start
Yeah,
wrapping
yeah,
this
yeah,
up
yeah.
here.
100%.
Wrap it up.
Sorry,
So-
one more
is there
thing.
anything else you guys want to shout out, like socials, upcoming events, anything like that?
This probably won't
Looking
come
out
out
for
for
you.
like a week and a half. So
I mean,
Yeah.
follow my Twitter, comfy_Val. I mean,
Follow my Twitch, Adoumti. Same thing as my my in-game name, all lowercase.
all right.
Yeah.
And
It-
if you
yes.
ever want to reach out to either of these people, head to the Valorant varsity Discord or
Or
the
varsity,
varsity
yeah.
Miami Discord. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
one of them.
they're on there. They'll probably not respond, but you know.
Well,
I'll
and,
respond.
we got
I'm actually pretty good at responding.
The-
It just
the-
might take
No,
me a little bit.
you are. You are.
But you
We
know,
got
if you
the-
ever have any questions, I'm sure that they'd be willing to help out. Just don't try and invite Adoumti into your ranked lobbies because he is immortal 2 and any or 3. Oh, you moved
Oh,
up.
really?
You moved up in the
300
world.
RR.
Moved up
We're
in the
at
world
300
since
right
I
now?
last checked.
I was a mortal 3. I think
'cause
I dropped.
He has you friended. You have Adoumti friended,
I
right?
think so.
I
And-
unadded everyone, by the way.
Ah,
I
really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know your name was Laxing. I would have kept you added. I just looked at names I don't
Lax.
recognize. Is it
Um,
Laxing?
Link.
Link.
Oh, there's a Siege Pro named Laxing.
Yeah, Laxing is a
I'm
Siege
a
Pro.
Siege
I
Pro.
was
I'm a
like,
Siege Pro.
what do you mean by
Actually,
Laxing?
I have
Linkling,
8
yeah.
hours in Siege, so.
But
Yeah.
we would be like playing ranked, and he would be like, "Oh, should I invite a Doomty?"
No, I'd be
and
joking.
I'm
I'd be like, it'd be really fun if I invited the Doopty right now.
I'm like, bro,
Silver
Shit,
bronze?
I probably
Silver
would have
bronze lobby?
joined. I probably would have joined.
all right, well,
and then you guys got the streamed Val matches, 8 p.m. Twitch.tv/Miami
every-
University.
Every Tuesday?
Now gonna be, I believe, every Friday.
which I'm
I
casting
actually,
tonight. So
I actually played today at 8 p.m.
Ooh.
for Team Y. I was subbing because they needed an emergency sub.
Oh,
Pog.
you're subbing for them?
Nice.
I think I'm subbing for
Alan?
Thunder Night.
Oh, Thunder Night.
Thunder
Okay.
Night, yeah.
And then, other than that, is there any like big streamed events that are coming up, or is it mostly just the weekly
CVAL
stuff?
starts.
CVAL starts in 2 weeks, so I don't know when this is gonna come out, but it starts
I
October
think it'll
21st.
come out right before it actually,
Yeah,
hopefully.
like
So
October, week of October 9th probably. Will come
yeah.
out.
So all right. Thank
All
you
right.
guys for coming
All right.
out
Thank you
today.
so
We
much.
really
Thank you so much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for having us.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Bye.